What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about things that only exist in the UK. That's right, all the UK secrets are coming out today. They're going to be revealed. And honestly, the premise of this is that we're going to look at this Reddit discussion where someone from the UK asked, what is something so normal here in the UK that you were shocked that they do not have it abroad, aka they do not have it in the United States either? Things that are really normal in the UK. It makes me wonder, like, if something is normal or popular or really cool in the UK, why would we not have it here in America? Like, it makes me wonder. I guess it depends on what these things are exactly. So, we've all been there, fellow Brits, stubborn enough to think the rest of the world should know and follow our culture. But what is something you've been shocked by? This reminds me of like an American kind of frame of mind. Shocked that the rest of the world isn't just doing everything exactly how we do it. We do it the best. We have all the coolest stuff. This would be a funny question for Americans to answer too. But let's see. What are the UK secrets? Things that only exist in the UK. Kettle. Yes, a kettle. I mean, okay. I this may sound kind of dumb, but I get a little confused by kettles because they really don't exist in the United States, or should I say, that word kettle is not really used in America. So, are we talking about a teapot? Because I also know I've learned there's like an electric kettle. You make water. It's a thing that boils water, makes water hot. Let me look it up. I didn't want to have to do this, but all right, I'll swallow my pride. Okay. So when you look up kettle, you get teapots, but oh, you also get this like electric thing that makes water hot, and this electric teapot looking thing. Yeah, these say kettle. Amazon calls it a kettle. Why is a kettle called a kettle? Uh, okay. Old English Cytel of Germanic origin. Don't need to know that for now, honestly. What is a kettle for? Most electric kettles have an on-off switch. I think we're talking about electric kettles, and yes, they don't exist here. To answer this question, I don't know why. Maybe I do. It's because we don't have tea. That's it. That's why. We don't have a culture of making tea. So we don't have like as much motivation or daily need for a kettle. That's literally what it is, huh? Although it does seem really cool, like I've actually, if I make green tea or something, trying to be healthy, I'll boil water in a pot on the stove and it like takes like a while. Some Americans I know microwave water in mugs in the microwave. Kettle seems really cool though. Somehow that technology hasn't made its way over here. I don't know why. I've never seen one in real life. I feel like it'd blow my mind. They're like, oh, is that a fusion reactor? And they're like, nah, that's a electric kettle. Oh, how do you say that? Electroc Koodle? Ah, I heard about these on the internet. Okay, an American on here told me it's not worth the time boiling water in the kettle to speed up the cooking process. They got offended when I stated that our mains are different and a kettle in the UK will come to a boil in a minute or so. I mean, if you can boil water in a minute, that's pretty amazing. That actually seems really convenient. And it would be downright necessary, saving you lots of time in the long run if you lived in a culture that really liked tea. But in the United States, again, that's not our culture, so no kettles. What a shame. I'm still no. There's really no teapots or regular kettles, and there's no electric kettles. So I think, in general, I can just say, yeah, these don't exist in the United States. It's kind of weird when I think about it. 3-pin plugs. Ours is possibly the safest design on the planet, yet no one else uses them. 3-pin plugs. Is this like the electrical plug? Uh, yeah, I was actually thinking this is what an American electric plug looks like. It does have three prongs on it, or pins. One is a ground. Two have like the flow of electricity. I'm not sure. Here's a UK one. Is it different? I mean, it's more square, but to be honest, they're not all that different. But I assume there are fundamental designs within the UK plug that I do not understand. I'm willing to admit that. I do not understand them, and I do not understand it. Let's see here. Is there any more info on this? Lots of countries use 3-pin plugs, mainly due to historical links to the British Empire. Okay. Ireland uses them. Hong Kong uses them. Apparently, this is just not a great example of stuff that exists only in the UK. Apparently, a lot of people are onto this, and that's good. It seems like it's a safe design. I'm unclear to me. I know British plugs are definitely different than American plugs. You can't plug something British into our American outlets and also the other way around. So I know they're different. Maybe the British plug design is safer somehow, or does something a little different. I don't know. Interesting though. I feel like there's some truth to that one. Okay, things that only exist in the UK. Free at the point of use healthcare. Ooh, here we go. This is a good one. I find it truly dystopian for this not to be a universal human right across the world. Free at the point of use healthcare. What is at the point of use healthcare? I've never heard that phrase. Is that just universal healthcare? Is it kind of telling that there's an issue here that I don't understand what this phrase means? Free at the point of use. So, at the point at which you use the healthcare, at the hospital or whatever, when you need the healthcare, at that point, it is free. That's my personal deduction of what this statement means. I think it's just saying universal free healthcare, whether that's paid for by the government or by taxes indirectly. Healthcare that everyone gets equally. And yes, I 1000% agree with this. I don't know what healthcare systems are like all over the world, but I do know that about the one here in the United States, and it is a circus. It is crazy. It is cruel at times for people in difficult financial situations and trying to get your insurance health coverage at your job, or if you can't do that from the government, you got to pay every month, and it might not cover this procedure or that procedure, and you got to pay this much out of pocket, and the deductible only kicks in at $200. It's a nightmare. And yes, it should not exist in the United States. Whatever the UK has should exist in the United States. I'm in total agreement with that one. It's a good point. I don't know if the UK system of healthcare is completely unique, or if it's similar to other universal healthcare systems around the world. I don't know. But that certainly doesn't exist in the US. So very applicable to me. All right, what else do we have? I know it's catching up everywhere else. But e-governance? E-governance. I don't know what e-governance means. This all is making sense, though. I just realized why I don't understand anything that we're talking about so far. I thought I was just being ignorant, but by the very nature of the question today, what are things that only exist in the UK? That's why little old American me does not understand anything we're talking about. So that makes me feel a little better. E-governance. Never heard of it. The UK government has been shite at a lot of things, but e-governance is not one of them. Anything governmentally related you need is online, and almost all services are applied online. Really? No having to go into like the courthouse or the town hall, no having to file paperwork, no having to use the mail. Everything has been converted digital, online. Well, as soon as I hear that, I think that's obviously the way it should be, but I guess that's not obvious or not a priority. Because it's certainly, I feel like the United States is starting to get there, is starting to, like how it took a while for us to have those credit card terminals where you could tap your card and pay instantly. That took a while. While other places like the UK seem to have it, this is taking a while, but it's coming along. Some of our government stuff and taxes and tax returns, and it's all starting to be a bit more commonly online. Thank goodness. Yes, this is a good one. It's really not just passport and driver's licenses, but literally anything you want to know. It's online. Wow. Yeah, sometimes I look when you have to look stuff up on online in the United States, it's very clearly on websites that are 15 or 20 years old. Like you can just tell, and the links are dead to certain places, and the font is old, Times New Roman font, and you just go, ah, I can't even look at this. My partner is German, and it's like going back to the 1970s with how things are done. Wow. Lots of sitting around waiting for your number. Yeah, like getting your driver's license at the DMV in the United States. Yeah. Oh, I love that. That sounds so nice. I think it's just something kind of like our terrible healthcare system, our lack of turning digital for all of our kind of government processes. It's just something we accept. We have no choice, honestly. So we have to accept, but it's something, we don't really talk about changing that stuff, even though it's real obvious. Yeah. Somewhere I read that the UK's eGov became worldwide industry standard based on how good it is. Wow. It's excellent, truly a benchmark in good quality accessible web design. Wow. A lot of people are very complimentary of what do we refer this to? The e-governance. So basically the UK has done a fantastic job of just making its government infrastructure, and when the government needs to interact with you, a person, and you got to do all that stuff, it's digital. It's not paper, it's not in person, it's not waiting in line. It's digital. It's on a website, which is, you'd think we would be there by 2023 in America, but we are not. So this is both fun to learn about, but I'm also a bit jealous to hear about this. If I could just sit at my computer and complete all my daily tasks and interact with the government on the computer, order my food from Amazon, I'd just never leave this chair ever again. I'd start sticking to it. No, that wouldn't be good. All right, what else do we have? Things that only exist in the UK. People mentioned 3-pin plugs. But I think the on-off switch next to the plug is the real MVP. It's so convenient. Yes! Yes, that's right. In the UK, the outlet that in the wall, that is different. It has a literal switch on it, right? That's so... is that just a safety thing? I feel like that's cool that that's an extra feature, but maybe this is the American in me coming out. I don't know what I would do with that option of a switch, on-off switch, on the plug, on the outlet. I feel like I just do everything the same. Like you hit the on-off switch on the lamp itself, or there's a switch on the wall somewhere that turns the entire room off. And I think we've gotten so used to that, Americans would be too lazy to take advantage of this technology. That's what I think. But it is definitely something that exists in the UK, not here. Truly. Maybe it's good for safety and stuff like that, or it's an extra feature. So no matter how you cut it, it sounds nice. I don't think it's going to happen here anytime soon, though. Okay, things that only exist in the UK. I know it's a cliche, but queuing. Yeah, queuing. Oh man, talk about something that is not existing in the United States on any civilized level, anyway. We are naturally so good and used to it. It always shocks me how other countries are so bad at following the unspoken rule. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that everyone pushing in doesn't work. Yeah, it's really nice to learn about this, to hear about this, and it speaks really highly to UK culture, I think, how orderly and intuitive Everyone respects the queue, or as we say, waiting in line. But in the United States, it's a free for all. It's like if there's a very, very clear line, say at the grocery store, where there's only enough physical space available to form a line, then Americans can handle it. But if not, Americans will try to cut you in line. If you're standing off to the side, they won't even ask you if you're in line. They'll just try to cut in front of you. The line will branch out into multiple lines. It will start to make no sense, and Americans can be real scoundrels when it comes to lines, whether they're meaning to or not. Funny enough. All right, things that only exist in the UK. Squash. Squash. I didn't know what squash was for the longest time. That's like racquetball, right? Is it different than racquetball? This is just gonna bring up squash. Sport. Squash the sport. Squash is a racket and ball sport played by 2 or 4 players in a four-walled court with a rubber ball. I think in the United States we call this racquetball, or maybe there's a little difference. But it's a really awesome sport that gets zero love in the United States. It's not on television. I'm sure there are pro squash players from the United States, but no one knows about them. I don't know who they are, and it's sad because it is a really cool game that I think is pretty popular in the UK, right? Kind of like snooker, how we have billiards and like 9-ball and stuff, whereas the UK has a whole other game, snooker, that's popular. It's just like that, how we don't have that. Huh. I mean, we're talking about squash the sport, right? Not squash the food, I hope. Or else... Wait, are we talking about the food? Grenadine? Wait, we have squash in the United States. Wait, am I going crazy here? France has syrup. It's like a strange foreign squash. It's too good. It's like a fancier version of squash. Lived in France. Wait, I used to do it so much with milkshakes, drinks. What? I'm so confused. I need to look up squash UK. What does this mean? It's a drink. What? It's a drink. Okay, hold on. Squash sport. Is squash popular in the UK? Please be popular in the UK. Is squash a sport in the UK? Yes. I was thinking about the sport. I didn't even know it's a drink. Oh my god. Oh, this is typical. All right, excuse me. We're talking about a drink named squash. Okay. What is this? Squash is dilute, is a non-alcoholic beverage with concentrated syrup. Usually fruit flavored, made from fruit juice. Okay. It's a fruit juice made with water and syrup. You mix it together. Traditional squashes in Britain. I'm so confused right now. I think I get it. Why have I never heard of this? Is this really popular in the UK? Fair enough. This must be a darn good drink for it to have its own category I've never heard of. I don't even know what I'd relate this to in the United States. Nothing like this exists. We have like drink mixes, powders and stuff to make yourself flavored water at home, but squash seems a little more of a step up. It uses syrup and carbonated water. Do you make this at home or at a restaurant, or do you buy it? Oh, preparation. Yeah, it seems like you have to prepare it. It can be flavored with elderflower, orange, lemon, black currant. Okay. Well, I was confused. I was like, I feel like we're not talking about the same squash here. First, I thought it was the sport, then the fruit, or is squash a vegetable? Doesn't matter. And now it is a drink. Okay. Very good. Very good. Oh my god. Okay. That was a good one to... Okay, that's good. Thank goodness I kept reading, because I kind of... That would have been such a fail if I had just left it on. Oh yeah, squash. Squash is such a cool sport. We should do it more. It's like, yeah, it is cool. We should have it more, but maybe we should have squash the drink. I don't know. I've never had it. It must be good if all of the UK is raving about it. But there you go. Some things that are normal in the UK that exist only in the UK and certainly not here in the United States. Goodness knows, I don't know anything about this stuff, as you can tell. So, in that sense, I actually really enjoyed this. Truly, truly, what a pleasant surprise learning about these UK secrets that, I don't know, I might have to spread the word here in America. Squash! People, we need squash! And they just throw a regular squash at me from the grocery store, hit me in the head and say, shut up. We just want it how we have it here in America. And I say, no, it comes in blackcurrant flavor though. Okay, I'll stop. And there you have it. I enjoyed this quite a bit. If you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment, perhaps with something you've noticed is normal in the UK but doesn't seem to exist anywhere like America. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to UK culture, stuff in the UK I've never learned about, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.